Let me tell you something most people get wrong about tears. We live in a world that worships strength, the kind with clenched jaws, steady voices, and emotional control. Strength that doesn't flinch, doesn't break, doesn't let feelings spill where others can see them. And yet, some people cry easily, at a touching commercial, a stranger's kindness, a memory that surfaces without warning. You might know someone like that. Maybe you are someone like that. And the question that always follows them is cruelly simple. What's wrong with you? Why are you so sensitive? But what if that question is broken? What if the people who cry easily aren't weak at all, but carrying something the rest of us have learned to bury? Because tears aren't always a sign of falling apart. For some people, they're a sign of feeling fully. Psychologists have found that people who cry easily often have heightened emotional sensitivity, a trait linked to deeper empathy, stronger connections, and greater self-awareness. Their nervous systems pick up what others miss, a shift in tone, the weight behind a smile, the unspoken tension in a room. They're not overreacting. They're reacting honestly. In a world trained to suppress, keep going, stay composed, don't feel too much, that honesty is radical. There's a concept in psychology called emotional granularity, the ability to identify emotions with precision. People who cry easily don't just feel sad, they feel grief, tenderness, nostalgia, relief. They experience the full spectrum in high resolution. Tears are simply the overflow, the body releasing what words can't hold. And here's what's often misunderstood. Crying easily isn't about losing control. It's about refusing to lie to yourself about what you feel. Tears are not emotional failure. They're emotional regulation. They lower stress hormones, release oxytocin, and help restore balance to the nervous system. In other words, people who cry are taking care of themselves in real time. Of course, not all tears come from peace. Sometimes they come from trauma, from a nervous system that learned the world wasn't safe. But even then, the tears aren't the problem. They're the signal, the body speaking before the mind has words. Some people cry because they've been strong for too long, because they've held everything together until something small breaks the dam, and suddenly it looks like an overreaction, when really it's years of unspoken weight finally finding release. Their tears arrive on time, not years late. And that immediacy is a quiet form of resistance. In a culture that says, "I'm fine," even when it's not, crying becomes truth-telling. It shatters the illusion that we're all coping just fine. The paradox is this: society calls crying losing control, but suppressing emotion is what actually leads to collapse. Bottled feelings don't disappear. They ferment into anxiety, anger, numbness. So when someone cries, they're not weak, they're preserving themselves. It takes strength to feel everything and still show up, to stay tender without becoming bitter, to cry and still choose hope. People who cry easily don't need to be fixed or toughened up, they need to be understood. Their tears aren't a cry for attention, they're proof of being fully alive. And maybe that's the real message, that sensitivity isn't something to outgrow. That vulnerability is not the opposite of strength, that staying soft in a hard world is one of the bravest things you can do. So the next time you see someone cry, don't rush to stop it, don't look away, just sit with them, because their tears aren't a problem to solve, they're a language to understand. And if you listen closely, they're saying something simple and profound. I still feel, I still care, I'm still here. And in a world afraid of feeling, that might be the strongest thing of all.